Welcome back to the channel. This is my review for the multi-engine bomber build, of which I am building a Lancaster from the Battle of Britain Memorial flight set by Airfix, as you can see here, 1/72 scale. Now there's been a few of these brought out over the years. I believe there was one brought out in 1989 with a slightly different versions of the planes, essentially the same but different markings at the end, I think. And they had certainly had different markings on the plane. So as I say, this is going to be the Avro Lancaster Mark 1 PA474. I'll start by saying I'm not a rivet counter, so you know, I don't. Everything's not got to be spot on for me. You know, the size of the nuts and the position of this nut and that knob and this windscreen and that. I just do the building because I enjoy it. I like it to look, you know, it's got to look like the real thing at the end, but not to that great a detail. I've only been modelling a year, so please bear that in mind. And I've only been doing reviews for a few weeks really, so I would also like to ask for some feedback on the reviews, if that's possible, where I could improve, and how I'm doing with them basically. So that's that. So this is going to be the review. I'm also not great when it comes to knowledge on aircraft, so I know a lot of you builders are very knowledgeable when it comes to aircraft. You know what you're looking at and you know the parts and that. I do not, but I am picking things up as I go. So hopefully that you know, I will get better as things go on. So anyway, let's start with the Lancaster then. So here it is. This is the instruction manual. It does all three, but I'm only concerning myself with the Lancaster. Now, I was doing some research on the Lancaster and I read the history that they put at the beginning of the build, and I thought what I'd do, because all my research that I could do, I couldn't sum up better than what Airfix have done themselves for this particular plane. So I'm actually just going to read this out. It's probably a bit of a cop-out, but I think that it's far better information than what I could find trawling the internet for hours on end. So here we go. Of a total of 7,377 Avro Lancasters built, PA474 is one of only 2 or 3 airworthy examples in the world, and has had a remarkable career since it was built in 1945. Originally destined for Far East operations with the Anglo-American Tiger Force, the war ended before PA474 could be used operationally, and it was subsequently converted for more peaceful photographic survey duties in Africa. In 1952, the Lancaster was operated by Flight Refuelling Limited, and in 1954 it went to Cranfield, where it was further converted for conducting experiments on swept wings, sections of which were mounted vertically, I think that's meant to say vertically, on the upper fuselage. By the time PA474 was donated to the Royal Air Force in 1963, it looked considerably different to the way it was first built in 1965. Right, I don't know. I'm saying that I could have, they've done a better job than I could have done, but I've noticed a couple of glaring errors here. Before I go on, how could they donate a plane they built in 1965 to the RAF in 1963, 2 years earlier? I guess we'll just let that slip. Yeah, earlier on they say it was built in 1945. Okay, right. Number 44 Squadron of RAF Waddington took on the task of restoring the machine to its former appearance, not least amongst the major components required being the nose, dorsal and tail gun turrets. In 1973 it was handed over to the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, then at RAF Cottesloe, which continued the gradual restoration process, so that today the Lancaster is very much in original condition. Okay, so there we go. I wished I'd read all that through before I read it out, because obviously there's a couple of mistakes in there. Obviously somebody didn't proofread this before it was printed. But there you go, so that's it. So let's go through the instructions quickly. So we've got the looks like one of the bubble turrets on the top there, by the looks of it, with the guns going in, anti-aircraft guns, and then we've got the bombs being made up, and the bomb loading area, I suppose, the bomb bay. Some decals to go on in there. Two fuselage halves going together there. Bomb bay doors going. Notice you can have them open or shut. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to go for. Probably have them open. I've got the time to do it, so it would make sense. Then we've got the canopy going on, front propeller, one of the engines. We come down here, another engine going on there, some of the landing gear by the looks of it. I think the landing gear attaches to the engine and then the engine slots up into the wing, by the looks of this. Yeah, we've got some the rear wings going on there. I don't know what they're called. Yeah, that's what happens, look. So the wings are fitted, and then the landing gear attaches to the bottom of the engines, and then it goes up, slots up into there, into the wings, and this one just sits on the wings there. And we've got some black and white call out for the paints, which are going to be Umbro, and top and bottom call outs for the. So there we go. That's the instruction manual for the Avro Lancaster Mark 1 PA474. Let's have a look at the kit. So it comes in one bag, not ideal. I don't think there's too many teeny tiny pieces in it that are going to get damaged, but I mean it's never great to have all these plastic screws rattling around together. And I think this is a fairly recent kit. I think this might even been the 2016 edition, so you would think they would move with the times a bit. There we go. Let's take that off. Get rid of the bag. And have a look at what we've got. We'll start with the top one, which is one of the wings. And there's a bit of marbling on the plastic there, which is nothing too severe, I don't think. There is actually nice rivet detail on there. Yeah, you can see this. I couldn't tell you if they're to scale or not. I can just tell you that they feel nice and they look right. If I can, let's see if I can get a. I don't know if you can pick that up, whether the camera's focusing in or not. And there we go. And I'm guessing that you have to cut out that panel there for slotting the engine in. That's just a guess at the moment, but we'll see. We've got some locating pins so that it should go together quite nicely. This is to do with the bomb bay, so we've got some fine detail on there. A couple of little ejector pin marks there, and there. But I wouldn't have thought it was anything to worry about too much. Rivet detail carries on onto the bottom of the bomb bay doors. Again, some marbling on the plastic, but nothing that won't cover up with some spray, airbrush, etc. I'm not sure what this is. It goes underneath. These may be. Well, no, actually, I'm not going to guess because I just made myself look stupid. Is that a little bit of flash on there, or is that a part? No, I think that part may meant to be like that. So that's one wing. It's okay, not too bad at all. Then we've got the wheels here. They're not weighted, so there'll be a seam to deal with around the centre. They're two-piece, so they glue together. Again, same basic sort of details on it. Nothing too extravagant, but and then pilots. There'll be a bit of a bugger to paint, I would think. They're not very well defined. The details on them are not very good at all. At least I don't think so. You can't really make out the face. No, I don't know if you can buy different. Well, you must be able to buy different pilots. I might even not bother putting the pilots in and just have it standing on the runway or something. Yes, we've got one of the engines. Same rivet detail all round, which is good. And then we've got this, looks to be the instrument panel, which very bland. If that is the case, they're very bland. There's no detail on them at all. So that will be down to the decals alone. So whether there's some detail up kit for that, I'm not sure. There probably will be, I would have thought, for a Lancaster. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Not really much flash that I can see. I'm very cautious of when I review the kits now, because I reviewed a Jaguar E-Type by Haynes and said that it was quite good, and it was one of the most horrendous builds I've ever had. I said that it didn't have too much flash on it, and it was virtually every piece was covered in it. So I've got to be really careful now that I don't give out duff information. So again, this is one half of the fuselage. The rivet detail is nice. I think you'd have to be careful not to put too thick a coat on with your primer and your spraying. Fear you'll lose the detail in the rivets and the panel lines. I don't think they're recessed. I think they're raised panel lines, not recessed. Well, there may be one there. Again, they seem clean clean lines, not too much flash. By that I haven't really seen any yet. Oh, there's some. There is some flash. It's not too bad though. And the other... right, so yeah, these are the tops. These wings at the bottom are the tops, and these are the bottoms. So no, you don't have to cut out that square as I first thought. So yeah, we've got a little bit of flash on here now towards the edge there, you can see it. Locating pins again to help locate it in a smooth. So this is the inside. Here we've got the propellers, pin marks, but you won't see these. These are all on the underside. And then the important side, again, same rivet detail. Yeah, there's quite a bit of flash on that wing. It's not too bad considering everything. It's not too bad at all. And it's nice to see the propellers are nice and clean. Can't see any flash, or a tiny little bit on the end there. Won't take much cleaning up, and I mean that's pretty much it. So in summary, it's a basic Lancaster. The pilots are not very good. The detail on it is very basic. I'm more concerned with the outside. It's got the rivets on, and that's pretty much it. With you know, odd panel lines here and there. So here's the decals. I've just brought the camera off and zoomed it in a bit so we can have a proper look at these. They seem to be okay. Colours are bright. Well, they should be. They're not that old. Probably more carrier film on some of them than I would like. You can see around the Q, R and M that they could probably have got away with a bit less, and around the M this will all but hopefully with the microset and microsol it'll sort itself out. There's the instrument panel, which is severely lacking on the that's got to do the job of the detail. I don't know, I would like to have seen a bit of a better. And we've got all the other bits and pieces. These cartograph, I can't remember. Is it cartograph that normally do airfix? It doesn't really say on here. Just trying to see if we can make the writing. We can see what the writing says, which is good. They appear to be in register, if my understanding of in register is correct, which is that the colours are all within their boundaries and they don't stray. If that is what being in register is, then they're in register. If that is not what being in register is, could somebody please put me right? Stop me looking like a complete tit. There we go. And then we've got the roundels there to finish it off. So not bad, fair few decals there, but usual Airfix sort of standard, I think. Okay, let's get on with the kit then. So there's not a lot else I can say about that. It's a very basic kit. It would probably benefit from some detail up, but I'm just going to build it as it is. I'm not going to add anything to it. I should probably take away from it, but I don't think that I'm going to put them pilots in because they are they don't look very good at all. I think I should just go for a relatively not too heavy on the weathering, because it wasn't used in battle as such. It was mainly used for photography and such like. So it was just some ordinary weathering, if you like. So with that, I shall start commencing the build on this, and then I shall be back with regular updates and show you my progress and any tips and pointers where I can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and leave any information you can. Please give me feedback on this review. Let me know where I'm going wrong, if there's anything I could improve, so on and so forth. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.